It is Thursday, I think, yeah. Um, Let me just do my tweet real quick. There we go. Okay, so a couple of things we want to mention before we get started uh, or diving in. Um, I think it was Peregrine that posted a listing of all of the new Madame Faye Decor and other items like the mounts and pets and things like that. Anything that comes from the recent update to Madame Faye's loot table, Peregrine was kind enough to list it out. You'll find that in the marketplace subforum on the official forums. Um, I think it's something that Peregrine has kind of taken upon herself to um, make sure that we have the list for those that are, collectors and things and want to ensure that they've gotten everything, especially when it comes down to switching out the loot table, making sure that we've gotten everything that we wanted before they go bye-bye. So um, if you haven't seen it yet, go by and check it out. It's really handy because it gives the full name of the items, so it's easier to scope them out on the auction house if you don't want to spend coins yourself, that kind of thing. Morning, Jam. Glad you could join us. Um, so that's one thing. Another is, I believe it was Conguero um, that posted a call out for any guilds that are currently in the process of or planning to um, tackle Raid Moon Terror. Specifically, they're looking for guilds that are going to be streaming their progress on Friday, this Friday, I presume. There is a topic in the raids section subforum of the official forums. I think there's actually a moved link from the general discussion, but it was moved to the raid thing, so you should be able to get it to both places. Hey, Poi, good morning. Um, Well, it's not housing related. I thought I'd mention it because, we do have a limited number of folks that actively, regularly stream, but I do know there are a few guilds and, in particular, certain streamers that enjoy streaming that type of content. It's not something I would do um, uh, since my focus is housing, but for those that look to promote WildStar in other ways. I'm just trying to get the word out for those that haven't seen the announcement yet that they are requesting guilds that are actively or planning to dive into Red Moon Terror. They're wanting to stream on the WildStar channel itself, the official Twitch channel for WildStar. They're wanting to stream the guild's progress. I think there's plans that they're going to be present and actually have some devs go into the raid group with them to kind of like ask questions, talk about their methods if they want, I guess. Also to maybe kind of listen in on how the team coordinates themselves during certain encounters. Um, Yeah, see, that's an example. Cal, I'm almost positive Cal will probably get involved in it. But there may be other guilds. I mean, it's not just the one. They want any. They're going to try and get it, as many as possible. So the more we spread the word about their call to arms, the better for everyone. I do believe they said that they would even include some code giveaways. They would take care of that while the team delved into um, the actual content. So, they said they would help promote the guild, that kind of thing. So this is a good opportunity if you are in a guild that whether it's casual, hardcore, semi-casual, semi-hardcore, whatever it is. If you guys are tackling Raid Moon Terra and you're available this Friday and possibly, future Fridays. I don't know how they're going to work it. Um, Reach out to Conguero in the topic. They ask for some specific information, like contact information, so that they can privately message you some further details and that kind of thing. So if you think you're interested, or you think your guild might be interested, give a poke to your guild leader, your raid leader, whoever you need to, and get that set up. Yes, it's a little bit short notice for this Friday. Again, I don't know if they plan on doing it more regularly, but once your foot's in the door, maybe that's something that they would be willing to continue on. It's a way for them not only to promote the new content and content coming up. Obviously, we have some more RMT stuff coming with future updates, so this may be something that they want to keep up for at least a little bit. So, if you can get your guild involved, all the better. And maybe it leads to, new recruits for your guild, or just, some fame, whatever that is, for you. But yeah, it's something that I thought I would mention. Um, so, back to the topic of RMT and Madame Faye decor, we're going to take a look at some of the stuff that is currently available. I don't have any actually to like put out on the plot or anything, but we do have Katya's handy dandy decor shopper that we can preview at least some of it. Now, as far as the Red Moon Terror decor, I don't know all the specifics about exactly which pieces are available in what manner. I know there are a few pieces like the lamp and the hanging fan and probably a few other things. I know there's some NPC decor that are available straight from the what do you call it, reputation vendor there on Palavar Point. But beyond that, I assume the rest of it is tied to actual raid drops. I know there's been some discussion. I guess I should mention that as well. Some discussion in the forums. I believe it's in the general discussion section. You can either look at Esper's thread, or I believe Zodi also struck up a new thread, and they try to kind of combine the feedback in both, discussing the issue with the availability of the new decor, how it's most of it, or a good majority of it, is tied to raid progress, raid participation, that there is very slow progression as far as reputation goes for those that don't participate in the raids. I think there's like one daily or something that you can do. There's also the issue with the changes to the adventures, dungeons, and the level 50 world story instances, where they've pretty much, well, they've removed some of the renown rewards from those and changed it to glory, which again is tied to rating. While there's still the merits at the end that you can get, which also award renown, a lot of people are pretty upset with the changes. I haven't actually tested if it's any different for me. By the sound of it, it seems like those that maybe group for farming the renown in those instances and such, if they do it in a 5-man group, I guess they are feeling more of a pinch on the changes. For someone like me that just solos it, the expeditions, I don't think there's going to be much of a change for me. I just go and pick up renown when I'm actually needing it. I tend to not spend renown, especially on larger items. I know there's some that are like 25,000 renown, which is clearly ridiculous in terms of, based on some of the other things. But and I know there's some people that use a lot of those particular decor more frequently than I do, so their experiences and their perspective will be different than mine. But if you want to get in on that discussion, I would suggest checking that out. It should be in the general discussion. Whoops, I just hold on a second. I just disconnected due to inactivity. Oh gosh. Yeah, Jam, I think there's a lot of people that are upset about uh, hold on a second. I'm gonna forget my password if I don't concentrate on it. There we go. Maybe I get in now. Oh, do you? That would be helpful, boy. Morning, Cheeky and Bones. Glad you guys could join us. Um, Let me get back in the game first, if I can. I guess I was talking too long. Wasn't moving. I try to keep myself moving so I don't do that, but there we go. We're popping in now. That's uh that's on Exile side, right? Yep, apparently it is. Ah, I see. Here's some of it. Looks like some chains with like a little doohickey on the end, like a pulley system kind of thing. That's kind of nifty. I like the light. Very bright. It looks like layered glass, doesn't it? So, and of course the rope fence is pretty nifty. If you know of any other place that has some of the new decor, feel free to let me know. Madame Faye inside, okay. Roxy. Oh, jeez. Which one is this? I actually got a hold of a few pieces. I spent a few coins yesterday, but mostly I got those NPCs, which I don't really use the NPCs, so. I guess this is like the reminiscent of the Pac-Man game. And that one, I'm not sure what that one's supposed to be. This is the wallpaper. This is the floor. It's remodels that you can actually get from Madame Faye. Like I said, I've got a few of them. And these are rug pieces, right? Groovy lighting. Okay. I go downstairs. I know there's been several that have been using it. I don't have any real use for this. I mean, it's so colorful. Ah, yes, these are the new arcade chairs. Now, someone said that they had one that was just like the one that we already have, the Chua stool. Technically, it's not because the new ones have these little emblems on the top. The one that we already had on the vendor, it doesn't have any emblem at all. So it's technically different, even though I think the coloring might be the same. Maybe the gold trim is different. I'm not sure about that. And these, of course, are the new arcade games. I don't think they're called games. I think they're called cabinets. Pretty nifty looking. Very, I don't want to say it's limited. I'm sure folks will find some strange uses for them, but again, it's probably nothing that I would want. I think the thing that I would like is the marquees and the little signs. Although they've got Chua all over them, so Don't know how useful that is for Exile bits, but maybe like the words or just the coloring or the little zap thingy, that might be okay. Oh, did you get the pets? That's why I tried spending. I was hoping maybe I'll get one of the little bot pets or one of the new mounts, but no, I mostly got runes. I actually managed to fill up the carrot on the Madame Faye meter, and I get this nice special card, and it ends up being a rune. It's like that's the second time it's done that to me. I was like, what a disappointment. So that's why I tend not to spend too many coins. I do like 5 every time she gets a new set of stuff, and I cross my fingers, and usually it's just junk. Well, you guys are just having a lot of luck. Either that or you're spending way more than 5 coins because, of course, you know, I'm stingy, so. And I guess these are the new dancer NPCs. They've got some for both factions, so that's a plus. I don't know if they're making any noise, but just really going crazy with that, aren't they? I know someone was complaining that they had hearts on their outfits. With them wiggling so much, you don't even really notice that. But for those that have, you know, RP plots that have bars, parties, some kind of celebration thing, these will be perfect. As opposed to always having the little bouncy, noisy lop. Oh, I didn't have a specific. I was just hoping to get lucky to get one. There's also the new gaming light. I think the original is red and this one is blue. I don't really like the lights because they're kind of clumsy, but see, that looks like a different wallpaper as well. Very bright and colorful. Again, I think there's just a few pieces I would be interested in getting hold of. But oh, you guys, I appreciate the offer. Don't give me any special treatment. I can live without. But I appreciate that. Is that 6 times the size? So they're pretty small when they come in, I guess. Wow. It looks like a foam finger to me. It's like, we're #1. Which one? This one here? The Chua wallpaper there? I know I saw a sky that's got like pixelated clouds, but you know, I don't know what it's called. I know there's a fab kit that's kind of reminiscent of Tetris. Um, in fact, Daxter tweeted some screenies from it saying that it allows you to get really high on your plot if you have that. Um, but I want to say there's a couple of skies, but I'm not really sure. So yeah, so you can admire the colorful stuff, and we'll take a look at some of the other goodies. Shopper. Since we're on the Madame Faye stuff. Now, I don't know how many weeks they're going to have these available, but this is some of it. You saw the 2 cabinets, the marquees, the side panels. This is so like if you want to create your own, you can decorate it up, which is nice. Again, there's the red one, but as you can see, it has a little bit of an emblem on top that I don't think our current Chua stool has. And then I see all these rugs, rug bits. So there's squares and like edges. So you can make your own little Pac-Man layout. Again, not something I think I will be using a lot of, but folks might find a good use for it as a strange little wallpaper, some kind of gift box that they want to make. Let's see. Then there's the Red Moon stuff, as I wanted to mention. Again, I think some of these come directly from the participation in the raid as raid drops. Others are going to be coming from the reputation vendor. Depending on where you are in the reputation, you might get unlocks for more and more decor. There is included NPC decor, they're like zombies or something, but there's no way to preview those off the top. So, but you've got the lamp, I know for sure. I think it's actually the hanging lamp. They call it Red Moon here, but it's the same model. I know this one's for once you reach liked reputation, this one becomes available, and I'm pretty sure this one as well, the fan. You can see how it is animated. It's a little wobbly, not too safe looking. There's the fence that we saw up above, a little railing. I imagine people will be using it as shelves, as soccer nets maybe, something for volleyball or whatever. Here's that lighted panel. Outside is a much better view because you can't see the top of this very well. But you know, maybe you don't want the light, you just want the back of it because of the way it looks, the metal and everything. You got the privy, which is pretty disgusting. Why anyone would want something that weird, I don't know, but I'm sure someone will find a use for it. This in particular, making flowers on the walls. These look like flower petals. Tilt it and cover up your own toilet, and now you have a lid that you can use. Just hide the rest of it in the wall, maybe. The sconce is pretty nice for those that like candles. It's got a little bit of an octopus-looking arm for it. Maybe turn it upside down, hide the lights. I don't know if it counts towards lighting, but if it doesn't, then maybe you could use this as a table legs instead. Oh, okay. There's the circular door. This does function. I don't know how it opens or anything, what it actually looks like, but I assume it slides, you know, parts probably make some kind of a noise. But I think it was Cadium or such that confirmed that this and the other doors that are introduced also are interactable. There's the hanging chain. That's the one that we saw outside with the little doohickey on the end. There's the stage. I imagine a lot of people will use this as for bars, cafeteria bits, just some funky lighting. This would be great for rounded homes like the Chua home. It's already curved. Hopefully it, you know, matches pretty close, but it might not. But you know, it doesn't have to be a catwalk kind of stage thing. There's the pillar, which is pretty strange with the little belly lights and little tower up top. Here's the square door. Again, it's not very good as far as preview goes, but again, it's supposed to be functional. You know, it'd be good for maybe an attic door or a cellar door that you want to build into your custom home. Again, I don't know how it opens, if it slides, if it swings open, or anything like that. There's the carnivorous plant, a little wiggly. Doesn't seem to hover necessarily, so you could probably turn it upside down and plant those around your jungle. Same way with this one. That one's super shiny. Use one of these as a tongue coming out of a house kind of thing. That's very colorful, pretty. You got the loading arm. Again, doesn't seem to be animated or anything. Nice little springs and stuff. Little curly Q wires. See that as like Christmas wrapping or something for the ribbons. There's the disposal. This could be all sorts of things in like little laboratories. It looks like it's got a little bit of green smoke coming up from the bottom. It's got some blue zappy stuff. Pretty animated. I assume it's probably got some noise to go with it as well. So who knows? Got the DJ booth. The lights don't seem to move, which might be disappointing for some, but it does look like it's got like a microphone, some special speakers, and of course the little ring up top. Kind of hard to tell. It looks like it's got little buttons and switches and such. You know, maybe sink it in and hide some of the lights and stuff, and this could be a really nice like bridge setting for a spaceship or something instead of just a stage. There's the sigil. Again, very poor way to preview this because we can't see the top, but I think it looks similar to the red moon sign that we have, just without the white. And this is the metal version. Here's a generator. I can imagine people using this as engine parts, that kind of thing. Here's a hatch. This is another door, apparently as well. It's also interactable. So this might be a different way to hide your hatch house, a hatch inside a hatch, something like that. Oh yeah, I've got no doubt, Cheeky. I know we've already got a few plots that are dedicated to arcade type of builds, so I have no doubt that they're going to be decking out their arcade. You know, they've made some of their own arcades, and they'll just probably either replace or add these new ones. But yeah, party plots is also another big one, especially with the NPCs. Then we've got several monitors. A little bit of a sparking wire effect there, as if it's not fully functional. And these would make some nice light trim for some house. You don't have to necessarily use it just for the screen. Here's another one. Here's the bar sign. I presume it's probably the same sigil that you see here. This is just like a neon sign, so it's kind of broken. It's got some sparks going on with it. Maybe somebody just wants this part. It looks like the face is kind of sunk in, so for like oven tops, this might be ideal because it's red and it's 2 rings. So that make good oven top kind of thing for the stove burners. You got the bar stool. It looks like just a giant screw. Can't really tell what the bit on the top is, but that's what it looks like. Maybe a weird chimney, something for the top of a train for the poofer coming out. Door handles. You know, while the stool's probably interactable, it still could be used for other things. Here's a brew tank. Looks more like a light to me, but very shiny on the blue. There's the Red Moon bar fan. Got a light in the center with the fan running through it. Can't very well get an up close look because the closer I get, the more it goes down to the bottom, but it's a little wobbly, so might be good for somebody that's building a ship or a plane or something, and they want some kind of extra motion in there. That would be good. Here's another bar thing. Again, it's very poor on the preview because you can't see the tops, but I imagine it's similar to the stage setup. Here's a revolving bar. Lots of different bottles. Yes, they move, so it won't be like you can kind of sink those in, and but it might be good for like a conveyor belt type of look if you're wanting to kind of make it look like you're producing something. Here's a standing pipe. This is where you get into all the different sewer pipe things. This would be good for, like, I don't know, speaker system. If you don't have the alarm, the other kind of speakers, you could use this like a speaker. Maybe for what are those? The record player. Was it phonograph? I think is what it's called. That could be used for this. I don't know if it's hollow inside and it has a hole in the bottom. It might be solid. If it's solid, then you couldn't use it necessarily what I'm thinking, but I was thinking if it's hollow, then maybe you could use it, oversize it. And if you're allowed to go through it, maybe use it as a strange entrance or tunnel or something. Even if it isn't, maybe you could use it as a strange little bed nook in a plot, upside down, enlarged, and put in some cushions, and there you go. Something like that. I don't know. Sewage pipe with the water, brown poopy water. A little bit of steam coming out. There's the back of it. It's a little disgusting, but I'm sure somebody will find some fun uses having their dirty waterfalls or something. Yeah, phonogram, that's what I'm thinking of. Reminds me of, I think it was Maddie that made one out of bananas. That's what I pictured as soon as I saw that piece. Here's one, it's a little pipe end. Again, it's got a little bit of stinky steam coming off. More of the brown gooey stuff. Here's the back side of it. But for those wanting pipes and things, I'm sure these will come in very handy. It saves you from having to use like the tubes and cylinders to constantly try and make a lot of piping go around. I mean, you can just hide the end of this into the wall if you don't want to show all of it. Sewage pipe end cap. This, again, I imagine you could turn it sideways, make this the tabletop. Handles for doors, drawers. It's very shiny. Got a neat texture. Here's some more piping. Some weird little bulby bits there and some brackets. I can't tell if there's anything coming out the bottom. Here's another piping, L shape. Again, could be used for handles. Some strange seating, armrests or whatever. I can picture this being used for all sorts of stuff. Yeah, the one that Maddie made was really awesome. Here's piping tentacles. Got some like little tentacle bits here, and then just really nice and curved. Looks like horns, so if you're going with the Draken theme or some such, these might be a good addition, even though they're not like horn colored. They have that nice snaky shape. There's for the other direction. There's a single one. Now, if maybe you have a pond and you want to make it look like a swamp creature's coming out of it, this would be good little tentacles there. They're not animated or anything, but maybe somebody wants to make an elephant animal, and this would be a good trunk. So yeah, that's just some of it. I'm sure there's some others that aren't labeled Red Moon, but like I said, I think there's the zombie. Yeah, they've got different types of guards, but again, can't preview them because they usually have these little icon thingies, but some interesting stuff. Again, I think if you want to give your feedback on like their availability, um, or lack thereof. Yeah, there's the pixelated clouds. It just looks so weird. What sky is that called? Um, anyway, if you want to give your feedback on it, like maybe you raid, but you would prefer to have gear rewards rather than decor rewards, or if you're a builder that you don't raid and you feel like this is kind of hampering your progress, like maybe there's some pieces that you really need lots of, but it's going to take you forever to raise up the reputation simply because you don't engage in the rating. You know, this is your chance to give some feedback. You had your chance as well during the PTR, but a lot of people don't participate in that simply because they don't want to spoil a lot of the things that are coming. And so yeah, there's, like I said, there's a thread in the general discussion that's going over people's opinions about changes they should make, not just for the accessibility of the Red Moon Terror decor, and some of the issues with like the Madame Faye. A lot of people still are upset that we have the chance of, spending your money to get the coins and then ending up with a handful of runes in exchange. Platform skyline, okay. Um, yes, thank you for reminding me. I did have that on my list actually. There is a new. Let me just go to Turtle's place. There is the Protostar. It's called the Illuminated Window, I think. It comes directly from the housing vendor. It is now available 2 gold per. Very bright. I imagine folks could be using this for ovens, not just as windows, even the back. I imagine some might use that as a tabletop, make a chair out of it. But yeah, those are really pretty and bright. If you have, like, say, the Protostar Winter House Fab Kit, maybe you want to add some more windows to it. That's really good. I like that it's on the housing vendor. It's like the only like freebie we got from that perspective, as opposed to like the circular window and the rectangular window that kind of looks like those, but I don't have no idea how you get all. I think they're random drops. So yeah, just some previews of some of the stuff that has become available. Some you have to jump through more hoops than others. So again, as I said, if you have some feedback that you want to provide or frustrations that you want to vent about that, be sure and drop by the official forums. In the general discussion section, there's a topic. I don't remember the name, but it should be fairly easy to spot what they're talking about. And leave your comments, feedback about it. Maybe even suggestions as to how they can improve it, make it easier on those that, well, I think this particular update was geared towards promoting the rating. I think a lot of people felt that it shouldn't have been strictly for that, especially for builders that have nothing to do with rating. I used to raid, but I don't anymore, and just because there's exclusive decor attached to the rating doesn't incentivize me to get into it, because the reason I got out of raiding is because my schedule doesn't quite allow it. My age doesn't quite fit with it anymore, and just I've come to the point where raiding just simply isn't for me, and no amount of awesome exclusive items being dangled over there is going to change my mind on that. So it's just a little frustrating for those of us that don't raid, that either we have to have a raiding buddy that's willing to, work out some deals for us, or we have to pay exorbitant prices off the AH just to get those exclusive items. It's just, slightly frustrating. So if you feel the same or you have some other points of view, be sure and let Carbine know. So we are back to the Ketchum residence on Cherville's plot, and I promised that we were going to work on a a water Pokemon today. If you haven't figured it out already, I am attempting to make, I'm not even sure I'm not going to pronounce this right, a Gyarados, something like that. It's the water Pokemon. It's the Magikarp evolution to the little big water serpent, the big water serpent thing. Um, I'm attempting to fashion one of those. If I'm actually going to pull it off is another story, because he's got some very distinct features like the fins on his face and the spikes on his head and back, and of course those curly like catfish whiskers he's got. The mouth even is pretty distinct. So I started off using the sporty spheres. I know the design is not the same, and probably the coloring isn't exactly right, but I'm just kind of going for a general idea. Same way with the belly part of him. On the pictures that I look at, it's more of a tan, but I couldn't find something that worked as well as the curved the domes. I needed something that would kind of mesh well with the shape of the ball, to be able to make that separation. So the domes are what I'm using, and the Oran one was the closest I could find that looked like a kind of a tan. So yeah, it's not exactly ideal, but until I figure out something else, this is what I'm going to be using. So yeah, he's supposed to be partially submerged, and this is going to be his head popping out of the water. So from the pictures, they don't really have like a 360 view. Unless I like pop up some videos or something, I'm going to have trouble figuring out just how his head is actually shaped. It looks like he's got, like, even the head itself is a little bit like finned in certain places. So I crafted up some blue mushrooms, and I'm hoping that maybe I can use that to kind of simulate the same thing. How that might work in reality is probably not gonna be what I'm thinking, but I'm gonna try it. So let's just square this up first. And then I'm not even sure if I'm getting like the scale of it right. I don't know if that's, what is that? Looks like he's got big dopey ears or something. It looks, the picture I'm looking at looks like he's got like a little flap on the sides, and then he's got those, and then he's got like another one coming up in the front, sort of. Oops. Try that again. Like his face is like sort of like that. And then it's kind of a little bit slanted this way, I guess. And then, let's see. Maybe another one this way. For like the top of his nose. And so, not getting this right. And then his mouth, I was thinking maybe I can use, again, it's supposed to be kind of a tan. I was thinking maybe I could get away with using the crate as his open mouth. It's like gaping, and it's got his two fangs and then the tongue in there, and I don't know if that's going to work or not, but I'm going to try it. I have a feeling this will look a little weird, so I'll have to like box that in to try and get it to look a little more natural. So like cover that up with some more of the blue. And like this needs to be dark. I'm trying to figure out if you'll want to use like another crate and just insert the back to it, or actually find something actually dark and use that, like maybe oh, what do you call it, the graded floor. Couple of them. I don't like that because that's sticking out funny. I guess he needs a chin. Okay, sort of. Like that's his nose, and then his eyes would be here, and We need another shrimmy. Where is... something like that. Not sure if that's exact, but kind of close. And then I guess we'll put another ball pair here. We'll just start a new one, I guess. We'll call this, we'll call him Serp, or Serpent. And this will help cover up some of the bits of the shrooms that we don't want showing and that kind of thing. Hey Zodi, we were just talking about you. Well, not you specifically, but one of the topics you put together. Telling the others if they've got some feedback to give on the decor and the renown and all of that kind of stuff, to take it to the forums. Give Carbine the what for. Excuse me. Okay, is that all of those? Okay, and then for the fins and such, I thought I'd probably use, there's like some different kinds of snow decor that you could probably get away with, but for me, this is bugging me. This looks crooked. For me, I think I'm going to try using, even this doesn't look right. Those look good, but these look off. I figured I was going to try drapes. Might not work like I'm thinking, but I'm going to try it anyway. So I know he's got like 2 on the side here. Before I buy it, I'm going to test it. Something like that. And then the second one. Like so. Oh, he looks so pathetic. Actually, those should be joined together, shouldn't they? So let's mesh that up a little bit. can't I get that to move like I want? Something like that. It's not exactly how I was picturing it, but pretty close, I guess. Yes, there is a little bit of blue that comes out, but I don't think there's any way for me to actually get that sorted exactly like I would like. I don't think that's going to work. For the spikes on the front, I pictured using, I think it was the glaciers. Which one? Probably the spire. Although the step might work too, but I think the spire will be better. And that's kind of coming out of his top of his nose there. See which way this looks like it curves. He's got two on either side, slightly smaller than the top one. Excuse me. And then his eyes would go here on either side. Little angry eyes there. Yep, that's what it's supposed to be, Zodi. Working on it anyway. Whether or not it's actually going to become it and folks are confident that it's the same is anyone's guess, but that's what I'm aiming for. Is that a different size? 15? No. I'm gonna get this kind of the same here. Yeah, who said Pokemon? Well, it doesn't help if I don't like tell you up front this is what I'm making, but sometimes it's fun to play guessing games. Okay, for the spikes along his, like, I guess it's the back of his body and stuff. So now I'm wondering, does he have like a little flare, or is it actually joined? But he's got these little spiky bits on his top of his head. Now I could use the same ones, but yeah, I was gonna use the icicles, I think, for the. Yeah, I think it was gonna be this one here for those particular bits. Like got a little mohawk or something going on. It actually might be a little too long, but it's my Pokemon. I'll make him how I want. It's got like three. Really, that doesn't look right, does it? Because of that really big, long, long one. Let me see if I can. It should be about the same size, I think. Try that different. Maybe if I just use the single. Even that doesn't look right. Doesn't look thick enough. Turn it upside down. Now I could probably just go ahead and use these here, but because they're different colors on the picture, I'm trying to kind of mix and match just to give it a little different look, to differentiate between the spikes on his head and the ones on his, like, the back part of him. But that doesn't seem to be working out like I'm intending. Let's see. Those are just straight. Those are straight. Maybe the glaciers, but a different one. Let's try this one. That'll work. Why is that thing not one held down for me? Like my mouse doesn't want to work this morning. Oops. Jumping for joy there. Still not quite what I'm looking for, but closer, I guess. Let's just remove these. I'll just use these. I didn't want to, but I don't think there's any getting around that. Now, the ones at the back, they're kind of facing the other way, so turn the little bit. And he's got 3 of those, and they're kind of where they will. That's comforting. At least we kind of know we're going in the right direction. There's that. Let's see. Fangs. We need fangs. Probably the Falcon thing would work. Maybe. I don't know. This rope bit will probably be sticking out. We'll try it just to see. Little crooked. Yeah, definitely, considering this is probably nowhere near what it should be. Let's see, need to make these a little smaller. Notice we still got that little rope to contend with. And I think these are a little bit more in. Yeah, these are more like fangs on the side, and then the other ones are like 2 little hookies. For the tongue, I guess we'll use pink. I don't know if this one will work with the flowers, but let's see what we can do with it. Nothing else, I'll resort to using the other pink pillow. Trying to make it look like a little bit higher, but something like that. gosh. So there's his tongue, which it looks like the one part should be the other way, doesn't it? Let me see if I can not switch it. And it's not wide enough. Yeah, we'll just leave it. It's a weird looking tongue. Eyes. We need some eyes. Let's try. I know I've got some fence posts, but I don't know if I want to use that because they're not. Let's try a snowy clump, maybe. I have a feeling the size it needs to be might keep it from being visible. But I'm going to try and not make it smaller than it is. And get that matched over here. And then it looks like he's got red eyes, so we'll use that firework thing. What is it? Dynamite? Object. Desi? Well, I guess he'll enjoy looking at this. We're putting this together. Okay, for this one, we also need the spikes on the one of the little back lumpy bits. Looks like it's actually on two of them, but I'm going to just put it on one, so pull this out here. It's all kinds of crooked here. Let me try that again. And this one I think is a little bit bigger, so we'll bump this up in size. And again, it kind of repeats that 3-bit thing, so we'll do it like so. Probably not as long, but I don't know, it's just a general idea. Mine never played any of those. He just got involved in it by watching the Pokémon show. We had to watch Ash Ketchum and his adventures every day. This doesn't look right, does it? Wonder if I can get away with bumping this up in size without it sticking through his front. A little bit bigger. Just how far I can get away with it. Oh, it's starting to stick out there. Oh, we'll just leave it like that. Looks a little crooked here though. Okay, what else are we missing? I think he has a little bit of white in his eye, like a little sparkle thing. So I think we can get away with the picket fence posts. I still have some spares from when I was messing with the actual fences. Be able to use that pretty good. You don't have to get this specific, but I'm just doing it because it's kind of weird that way. Okay. I think the main thing we're missing is, again, I know these aren't tan, which they should be a tan, and then he's got some little tan stripes down the side. I'm trying to think what I could use in place of, like the cardboard box, that would be a nice tan to use, but it doesn't work well with the curved um, surface of that ball. It doesn't blend very well. But I'll try and show what I'm talking about. Like I would want to use it like this, like have it sunk in, but as soon as I push it in to kind of blend in the sides, the front kind of goes bye-bye. So it kind of ruins that, and it would just look weird if he's got all these little doohickeys on the side. So maybe the grain sacks would work, but again, their surface is a little misshapen, so it doesn't blend very well with this. So and then of course the orange bits, they show up pretty. It's not a big difference between the blue here and the blue here. Um, so I don't know. A tan sack, maybe. Let's see. I think the surface of the bottom itself, I think, is more flat than round. And again, you can see it's not a very big contrast in color. It's actually kind of dark on the bottom, which is a little weird. If I try the sides, then that becomes like a pooky bit. I size it up, then I start risking having, whoops, having that poke out the back there, and again, it still doesn't. And then you got the stitches that show, which is a little weird. Looks like he has a tumor or something. So no, I don't think that's gonna work. I tried thinking of if there was another like the exile one. I think that'd be too dark, especially in this shaded area. It doesn't help that it's already kind of dark here anyway. If I was to actually add some light, I think it would show up more the contrast in the colors a little better. You can see the front is pretty distinctive now, but it's just I don't have any light out here. I'm using just the, I think it's the tropical sky. It's supposed to be daytime all the time, but when you kind of box it in with these trees and stuff, the shadows come. So I don't know. I might could hide some of these in the bushes themselves, like artificial light, but then maybe that looks weird. But if I was to leave the light up, I would probably just use some of these and try and make those little indents on the side. Like those little markings, that kind of thing, just to kind of tie in with how he's set up on there as well. See you later, Bones. Thanks for dropping by. And I would do that for all of them, just so it has those little markings. Chew a spotlight and sink it under the Pokémon. I might try that. The chew one, you have to craft, right? I think it's a craftable. And see, I have no idea if he's got little stripes on like the back part of him. I only ever see him from the side in the pictures that I Googled, so I have no idea if it's something that would normally show up elsewhere on him. No idea. But then I guess I'll have to try and get a hold of some craftable. See if I can replicate this on the other side here. It's little things like this, again, it really depends on where you're putting these if you're just completely dedicating a full plot to them, you might want to, you know, spend the extra decor and adding these little details like this. But if the Pokemon themselves aren't the pure focus, you might want to go for like a cheaper version. Like we did with the Doug trio, we used different pieces for like the body. Um, you suffer with that by having that line a little bit more pronounced between the head cap and the rest. But it saves you a lot because I think we figured out this was like 20 something pieces for one of these, just the body itself, and this is 2. So there's a big difference, and you know, maybe you don't want to spend that extra amount. Okay, so let's see. This, I want to show more of that, but we'll just leave him with a really fat chin. Notice I haven't like patched in this little bit or this little bit. I'm not getting too snazzy with him, but kind of close. I think the last things are his little catfish whisker thingies. No, thanks, Cheeky. I'll craft one later and we'll try it out. The only thing I wonder is if you sink it into the ground, won't that be kind of like underlit? So to create shadows on his face. I don't know how that works. And I know some lights, and it might just be on the interior, they actually disappear when you put them down a certain distance. What was it? Oh, his catfish whiskers. Now, I couldn't find anything that had like a blue little curly Q thing. Now, I could probably try and just create one using like the icicle bits or something, and kind of faking it in that way, but I think that would be more complicated and probably not as well seen. So I figured I'd just cheat and use the vent bushes. They're green, so it's the wrong color, but I was hoping maybe they might work. So I'm gonna see, just gonna place one and see if we can get it to kind of behave like we want it. It's the only long curly Q-y thing that I could think of that might kind of resemble his little catfish whiskers. But yeah, I went through all the plants, all the trees, looking for things that might be reminiscent of it. And again, this was the best I could come up with. So it's not going to be exact, obviously, because the color's wrong, but I'm hoping it's close enough where people won't be too fussy about it. Can't get it to attach to his little, it should be right about here, I think. Because he's also got a couple other spiky things, but I'm not getting that. See if I can turn it this way. See, I got all these other little tentacle things poking out I don't want. Yeah, so see, it's kind of the attachment is a little off even, but that's as close as I could get. So it's better than none at all, I think. He just will look weird if he doesn't have his little tentacle, his little catfish whiskers. There you go. Well, I will try it out, Zoe. I guess it wouldn't work with the other light. See. Guess it's not as bright. Get over there. That's not too bad, I guess. I'm sure the spotlight would be a harder light on there. A little bit brighter. Whoa, that's like big. Well, that can suffice for now since I don't have a 201 on hand. But it's something I can try out with the spotlight later. So there we go. His snout isn't as elongated as maybe it should be. That's probably one thing I can see offhand. Maybe, let's see, join all this up to his mouth here. Getting all the details of his head, the front part, and we'll see if we can kind of fix that a little bit. Maybe I should leave these at the back. Okay, is that everything? No, I think I forgot the pillows. The bottom teeth. Fangies. Did it get both eyes? No. That real quick. Maybe I should leave these alone. Keep changing my mind, but bear with me. I'll get it figured out here eventually. Oops, cancel. Put this here. Don't want that or this. Want this one. Leave this one behind as well. I noticed too that the ropes from the teeth are showing. That's going to be an issue. It's a little more, I guess. Instead of, maybe his mouth is just too big. Is that what it is? Maybe that's why it's bugging me. Let's see, this whisker's closer out than this one. Why is that? And that would be why. Okay, well, I'll just have to live with it being that way. Even though it's gonna irk me, because he looks like he shaved wrong or something. It's crooked. Okay, so I did think about, in the picture that I'm looking at, he's kind of like swooshing out of the water, so there's like the water splash and cresting and stuff. I don't know if there's probably like maybe some of the Arctera glacier bits that you could use to kind of make it kind of splashy. There's like different kinds of animated bits you could use, like some of maybe the smokes or the frost skull or the buoyant crystal to kind of make it like animated, like he's just splashed out of the water. I don't think I don't think any of these will work in that way. I say that, and it's possible, I guess, but like you'd have to leave them pretty big and like make it look like it's nice and bright water splashing out. But I think it'll just more, because it's not actually animated, it doesn't look too watery. I think it would look like he's just coming out of the ice. So I'm just gonna leave him like this and call it good. So that's my Gyarados or Gyarados or however you pronounce it, Pokemon. Now we have a water type. I think Dugtrio is like a ground. I have no idea what Togepi is. Caterpie, I think, is a grass or poison, one of those. I have no idea what Doduo is. Tangela, I think that's just a scary Pokemon. And I did get the Pikachu painting up, so that's sorted now. Changed it a little bit. I just sunk it in a little further, so none of the black frame is showing. It's just the yellow. The Ninetales, I think that's a fire Pokemon, if I remember right. And then we've got the ghosty one, Ghastly. So I'll kind of run through the Pokemon list, just Googling up different ones and see if I can find some other kind of types that we might want to toss out. Now, I may work on decorating up the pond edge a little bit more with some grasses and bushes and stuff. But I do want to try a flying one, but I don't know which type I'm going to attempt. It's just a matter of if I can kind of think of pieces that might actually work for certain parts of it. If I can get most of them, then I'll probably just kind of help, try and come up with something for the rest. It was kind of like this one. I already kind of knew what I was wanting to use for his face fins and the spikes and things, and kind of the mouth, but the rest I wasn't sure about. So I think all in all, considering the pieces that we have available and my limited artistic skill, I think we did okay. I think he's fairly recognizable. I mean, if Dodie's kiddo could do it, surely other people can, considering they already know ahead of time what the theme is and everything. So, yeah, so I'm going to try and see if we can dig up a flying Pokemon that maybe we can give a shot at tomorrow. In the meantime, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Again, be sure and check out the threads and the general discussion forum if you have any comments, feedback, ranting, whatever you want to provide on not only the Madame Faye decor, but the Red Moon Terra decor, and the changes to the Renown acquisition through like expeditions and stuff. As well, just an extra reminder, if you belong to a raiding guild and you already maybe actively stream or you've kind of been considering it, now might be a good time to get into that. Conguero posted that Carbine is actually looking for some guilds to do kind of like a co-op thing where the streamers actually stream on the official WildStar channel. It's not only a promotion of the game, but it's a promotion of the guilds involved, and it kind of showcases, how these teams actually make it through. They kind of want access to like your team speak as well, so that we can hear what's going on and that kind of stuff. So yeah, there's lots of things going on. There is, of course, even if you don't raid, you can get access to the Redmond Terra little mini daily zone. I think you get an actual little pop-up once you're ready for it, and he directs you to a NPC that you talk to in the city, and they transport you to the little mini zone. And if you complete the uh, the quest line, the little intro quest line, you get a goodie bag, I think, that has a random decor in it, and you get a teleporter decor. It's kind of like the Datascape one. You get like a little, that purple teleporter for that. This one you get a blue kind of panel for that. Because I had left the zone yesterday. I teleported back to the city, and this morning I was like, man, I don't know how to get back to that place. I couldn't find a portal or nothing, and then I realized that they actually give you a housing decor item that behaves as a portal, so it can teleport you right to Palabar Point. So yeah, there is a travel poster that you can get. There's I don't know, 7 or 8 tails keys that you can pick up around just that little small little floating island. Like there's one right there when you come in. There's just, they're all scattered about. Just hunt and peck for them, and eventually you'll unlock the poster for that. In fact, let's see. I'm trying to think of what it was called. Dark Heart, I think. Yeah, on here. This is what you unlock if you find all of the little tails keys scattered around. It's just little books or something, and that'll unlock this one here for you. There's also an achievement, I think it was Moose, that said there's like some satellite dish rays or whatever at the top of this little floaty thing. If you make it to the top of that and do something there, then you get an achievement as well. So there's a few things that even if you don't intend to raid, that you might want to be sure and check out and get access to it, because like I said, there's a daily or so that you can do, and it may take a long time to get your reputation up just through the daily, but it's something to work on, to do, to pass the time, and eventually you get there and you'll unlock some of the decor that we showed off earlier. So yeah, I think that's it. Thank you guys for joining me. I appreciate the company, the follows, the tweets, the retweets, the votes, just your general support as always. If I don't see you tomorrow, I hope you have a great weekend. We will be back tomorrow again with the CBDC stuff. And of course, remember, we do have the showcase coming up on the 29th. We just did Dominion tours this past Wednesday. That means next week is Exile's turn. So if nothing else, join us for our Wednesday house tours. Till then, have a great day. Stay safe. Hope the weather is good for you, and good luck with your projects and all that. And I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.